Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to do a little bit more monster making madness. So here's our prompts: D4, type of monster; D6, where the monster's from; and D8, how many limbs it's got. We'll do the 4 first, which is a beast. Okay, we can do that. D6, where the creature's from; 4, which is a cellar. Okay, we can do that. Number of limbs, please, for the love of all that is holy. Not 1. Oh, 5. Okay, 5 is good. We can do 5. So we got a beast from a cellar or basement and 5 limbs. All right, let's do that. So let's do the sketch real quick. So beast from the cellar. Okay. Right, we got it. So it's a beast, so we're going to give it horns, because why wouldn't we, Okay. Ears. And big nose. Okay. This is the other arm. So he's got to be in the cellar. Just kind of figuring out how to... Bigger horns. We need bigger horns. Another arm. So that's got to be all furry. Right, okay. And we'll do really long fingers. I'm trying to think. Basement. How do we make a creature look like it's from the basement? You know what we could do? Basement have lots of things in them, don't they? So maybe that's what we need. So let's just get the beast made. Long legs. Sort of hunched over, because I guess he's living under rafters and stuff. Let's put a rafter there. So sort of over the top of his horn. We'll put an old beam there. We'll have to make him a bit crooked and weird, because it's an old basement. It kind of looks like an attic, actually. See, we can sort of change that at some point. Okay, we don't want it looking like an attic. We want a basement. Alright, what's in basements? We have a little rat up here, little tail. We'll do, basements have boxes, don't they? Lots of boxes. So have a box here, another box here, like some jars and old weird stuff. Maybe some bit of wooden, maybe a chair leg sort of fallen over. We'll do like hooves on this creature. How should his back be? He's got a big tail. Tail's kind of wrapping right round, and that'll come up. Even though this is meant to be my stay in your lane box, I think it'd be good to come out of it a little bit. So on the top, basements have chairs. So maybe it's really good at sort of pretending it's part of the basement. So we have a little chair there sticking out of its back. We'll have, what else is in basements? We have a box, so another box thing just sticking out. Have it opened, and the lid kind of open like this, and stuff falling out of it. I guess we've woken it up from its slumber. Big ears. What do we think about the ears? Beast. It's gonna have teeth, sort of a mane. Yeah, I'm getting Beauty and the Beast vibes already. You know what? It'd be cool if this arm was interacting with this. So if we don't worry about that arm. Wait, how many limbs was in that? 5. Oh, tails don't count. We have another arm. Brilliant. Oh, that worked out nicely. And it's sort of like tensed up there, holding. And then the claws. There we go. Cool. Right. A little bit of a tummy. It's gonna have loads of stuff on its back. Like ropes and stuff. maybe have some rats or something on it. Or maybe a rat up here as well. And then floorboards. I'll put some more sketchy stuff down here. Another box. Maybe someone's just moved house. Little Nintendo. Maybe some old picture frames. You know. And that beam actually goes in front of that. Nice. Let's do it. So we got a beast from the cellar or basement, whatever you like to call it, with 5 limbs. Let's go. I don't think it will even have eyes. You know, if it's living in the basement, these are its tusks. It's kind of like where it's got a beard. Well, it's more of a mane, but call it a beard for now. Actually, you know what's kind of freaky and creepy? Maybe the ears kind of come out where the eyes would be. And he's got really big ears that kind of open up twice like that. That's kind of creepy. I like that. Nice. And the other one, it's almost like a bat, isn't it? You know, a bit of a hole there in its ear. But yeah, it's coming directly where the eyes would be. That's kind of cool. And then the mane. First we've got to draw the horns. So don't want boring horns. I just want something with a little bit more movement to them. Went to a little animal sanctuary petting zoo the other week and had a weird amount of considerable time spent just looking at goat horns thinking, yeah, goats are cool. You know? They eat pretty much anything they want. You know, they're high immunity to like disease and all sorts of other things. Plus they're really cute. They make funny sounds. Doesn't take much to entertain me, so I was in my element. Right, there we are. A bit more of a mane here. Nice. Stuck with the 003 this week, this day, because the other one didn't do so well, the 005, and he went kaput. So we're back to our 003s, and a little bit smaller as well, which I think helps. So this is sort of like, we'll have one arm that's a little bit skinnier than the others maybe, and you know, like that. And then lots of fur, because after all, it is a beast. And then maybe the hands are sort of crooked and bent over, kind of, you know, crawling a lot. So it's quite a large creature, and maybe it doesn't have enough room to move around in. And this finger around here, and maybe like a small little hook finger at the back. Maybe that's what it uses to grab on to its prey. Don't know what it's preying on in a basement. Maybe rats and mushrooms, other things of that nature. Yeah, I think I've done the sketch far too muscular for a creature that would be crawling around most of the time. And then here we'll just have, you know, roots, you know, fungi growing on it, like so. And then we'll have sort of chair leg with some roots wrapping around it, going back round, like that. What sort of chair should it be? Don't know, if maybe it's so rotten it doesn't even have the seat left. But you know what we could do? We could have sort of like a little bit of a wicker chair at some point. It would have been quite pretty, I would imagine. But the wicker bits have gone almost entirely. And then on top of there, another little mushroom. And then some more roots wrapping around this chair. Oh, that's kind of cool. And then around this bit. And then leave a couple of little gaps. A little connection bit, and that little bit broken off there. And then this leg, even though it should be broken, it's kind of bent and twisted. You know, it's becoming part of this creature. Cool. And then little spider. This is Frederick the Spiderman. Right, and then his other hand is there, must not forget it. And then the horns all goes underneath this nice old beam. And then this beam goes across here. Nice. Doesn't need too much. We don't want to take away from the creature itself, but a few details are nice. Bit of rot, bit of decay. Kind of looks like two eyes there. That was meant to be the patterns in the wood. It's kind of cool, kind of creepy. And then, you know, decay hanging off and dirt. Losing my voice. Dirt is the word I was trying to say then, but it came off like, Nice. Okay, so we got a nice beastie going. This is cool. I will do some cleanup at the end because I'm super aware with all the pencil sketches. It's making it a little bit trickier to see what is actually going on here, but don't worry, we'll get there. So, and then like a little old box, which is, you know, a little lid, a couple of little fungi on that as well, coming into it, and then it's sort of, what a nice transition between fur and furniture. Oh, there's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Transition between fur and furniture. See, if I hadn't started doing this channel, there is no way I would have drawn this creature. Not in a million years. Actually, if any of you like drawing, I suggest you do the same sort of thing, because this is actually quite fun. Quite scary though, doing it for the first time, because I was really worried I'd get like a one-limbed harpy from the factory. I don't know, that would have been, I don't know, maybe that would have been fun actually, because I just can't think of anything more difficult to kind of make cool, you know. And what's the point of drawing if it's not cool, you know? Apart from being expressive and, you know, good for the soul. You know, a few more little fungi and maybe some little, I don't know if they're spores or flies. It could be anything. Right. So this is it's a jar. I feel like this might be the creature's cellar, so maybe, you know, he's got, I don't know what he's got in these jars, but, you know, they're looking a little suspicious. Another one behind here. Again, not really sure what's in these jars, but I don't think anything good. Alright, so this box is going to be a little bit caved in. It's got a lot of weight on it. Alright, I just need to have it come around the side there a little bit, and then draw some stress lines. You know, nice. And then have a little bit of tape from the box on the other side. Another little thing. You know, I don't know what these things on the top are, just could be anything, couldn't there? Just old boxes, little jars, and I know I'm saying the same things over and over again. very interesting person. Right. And there's at the bottom of the box. Loads of fungi and mushrooms and, things. What was this? I can't remember now. Doesn't matter. Draw an old bike or something. I won't draw all of it, I'll just draw the bit that you can see. Well, inside the box. Almost. Yeah. In my head, it's definitely not, sort of a newish Cellar, maybe something in the 90s, maybe older, apart from the little controller, little snares. I think apart from that, could be very old, maybe in the 30s, 40s, something like that. I mean, other than the boxes, it wasn't just boxes and jars. Could have passed off for older, but I think that's kind of cool, actually, a creature like this. What was that film with Cellar? Really cool book as well. And that was about, I don't want to tell you, but there's something really cool that lives in a shed. And it has this sort of creepy moth-like fungi sort of sense to it. Actually, this hand's just going to be kind of, not a tentacle or such, but like a strange whip, and it's going to split off into two, like that, and then come back around, just, so he's not just the same, It was a beast, right? Yeah, it was a beast. Okay, fine. I forgot what I was doing. Right, a little bit more fur. It's going to have really skinny ribs. You can see the ribs, and they go to sort of like the obliques, like that. It's going to have not quite a six-pack, but just, you can definitely see the muscle systems. Muscle systems? That doesn't sound right. Muscle system? No, that doesn't sound right either. Anyway, and then his fur turned into like big jutting hooves. Should have left a little bit of room here so I could have, done the inking a little bit better, but it's just meant to be a sketch, It's not meant to be perfect. This is the creepy hand. What's back here? Probably just more boxes and stuff I'll put. God, not very original, am I? What should we put there? Let's put another box. Brilliant, mate. Absolutely tip-top. Oh, books. Books. We could put books everywhere. Right. So there's a box. And then we'll have sort of a book hanging off him as well. A bit of fur coming off the back of it. And some pages, a couple of little, we put the triangles in the pages so you don't forget where you are. And then, so the roots that bind that to that bit. Some fungi. Nice. And then, what's down here? I can't remember, we'll have to, might need to tidy up a little bit actually. Right, I'm gonna have to draw a little bit weird again. Again, it's the right hand. Every time I do a right hand, it goes all weird. I think I need to figure out how to do the camera better. And then this wrist is gonna have like a strange bend in it. I don't know why. And then really hairy on this one. So each limb feels different in its own way. It's the same beast, and I guess this will have an extra little claw there and maybe there. I always think, like, when I'm drawing something, how does it work? If it was to have multiple limbs, why? Why do they look different? What's the purpose of them, evolutionary, or just simply, how does it deal with it? I guess this one has a long reach and really furry. Maybe it reaches up and steals stuff from the kitchen above the house it lives in. taken to draw today at this point. Oh, I forgot to do a little rat, didn't I? I think it eats rats. I reckon it's a vegetarian creature. You know, maybe it's above it is like a baker's or something, you know. So maybe it just steals gingerbread men. Yeah, getting on board with that. Cinnamon cakes, not cinnamon cakes, cinnamon buns, gingerbread. Okay, I've made a very scary creature far less scary in my head now. So like an old picture frame, you know, they have all these swirly whirlies on the, you know, fake gold looking frame down here. And then another one in front. You know, it's got a little chip in that frame there. And it goes to the edge. And then I don't know what's actually going to be in there. Maybe an old bag here. I forgot what that was going to be. It looked like a bag to me, but I definitely didn't draw a bag. An old belt. And then another generic box. Because we've established I am basic. Basic box dude. I was going to say the B word then. I know, criminal. Right. Another book. Little bookmarker sticking out. And then the picture. What should we do for the picture? Let me come back to that, have a little think. Picture in the frame. Oh, you know what we could do? We could have it as the reflection. How would that work? I guess it would be, you know, not, I don't want it too perfect. That would be his knee, but maybe it's an old mirror. I think we might have to do some more shading in future drawings, because I think a lot of these sketches, because I'm trying to do them quick, because I don't know about you, but my attention span's not particularly great. I always forget to actually do some nice shading, because I think shading really adds a whole new dimension to any drawing. And I feel like we lose it a little bit, but also I don't really mind it, because it's just meant to be fun. It's also a wonderful way to procrastinate from working on the actual board game, because that's difficult. And this stuff is just a lot of fun. And it's nice to draw and just ramble. I forgot his tail. Whoops. Anyway, let's say that's about done. Another little thing there. An old vase. Some dead flowers coming out of it. Like that. Nice. Cool. Right. Let's rub that out. Do you think it'll rub out okay? Okay, let's give it a go. So how's everyone's day going? Oh, I forgot to ask. Has everyone got their cuppa? Oh my goodness. I have to restart it now. I have to restart the drawing, I reckon. Didn't ask about a cup of teas. Nice criminal. God, the mumbling artist not talking about cups of tea. I think I've lost my entire identity. And there we have it. I'll do a little zoom in to see what you think. Oh no. There we go. Oh, that went a bit weird then. There you have it. I'll zoom in. Right. Well, if you enjoyed our little dice rolling shenanigans, then we'll have to do it again. But until then, hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.